Look at this little guy. He's been on here all morning.
I know, he's been hanging out all day.
Oh, he's on you.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
I look gay.
I can't help you on that department.
Is anyone watching?
Yeah, everybody.
What's up, muscle car people? Day officially 1 of Hot Rod Drag Week is here. And guess what? It's pouring out. It was pouring out. It's let up a little bit. It's 8:45 in the morning. We just had our drivers meeting, and yeah, now we're just gonna sit and wait probably for 5 hours until they clean the track up, and then we go racing.
On your EMP tech card, not Drag Week Hot Rod report, but your EMP tech card. Please make sure to bring that up to time.
That's not important right now. I just saw lightning, so we're probably just gonna hang out here for hours today and hours, and then we go to Cecil tonight. And there's still a lot of debate where we're going to go.
We don't know the route yet.
We don't know the route. Matt thinks we're going to go through the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel.
I hope so.
We'll see. That's
and if we do, I want to just sit in one of the pull-offs and just watch all the cars come by.
We could actually do that because we'll have plenty of time. But
right.
Otherwise, it's just going to be a chill day. We're going to run what we run and try to bring it.
My name is Brian Lones, and the man to my left is not Tony Pentagon. That's David Freiberger. We're going to be the action here on Drag Week. You know what you want. How this event actually works.
Can you not ruin my shot? Jeez.
We basically break the day in half. So the first half of the day is concentrated. We open the staging lanes and allow the racers into the lanes that are running into the dedicated categories. If you're running that way.
Which you'll see us talking about once we go hot on the track and as we go on over the days to come, about how to actually execute your day at Drag Week, and it depends on the weather. There's a lot of behind the scenes other than just going.
That's a funny sounding V8. How are you?
Man himself, man. That sounds weird.
We were taking a little bet. Which do you think is going to be faster? This or the other car?
Cresta?
Yeah.
That's lighter.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He said
Also, we've had to put the old engine in the Cresta because we broke. We broke the other one, so it can't be pushed. That's a better engine.
Right.
Theoretically. They're both the same turbos and everything. Everything else is identical. So,
Right.
Yeah.
This is not forged then, basically.
Yeah, they're all the forged pistons and rods and everything, but that's just got better stuff in it. And brand new crank and
That's awesome.
nitrited stuff. And
Yeah, I've had like 5 people text me about like the Barra Mustang.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all
it's
anybody
here.
cares about is yours.
I know it's here, but I mean, no one's run yet, so I don't know if you're...
oh, thanks, mate. It was yeah, he ran yesterday.
Oh, I did. What did
First 3 times it's ever been driven on the track.
Well, yeah.
The best was 9.153 or something like that. Just trying to get used to the transfer. You don't
That's
know.
still pretty fast, though. You know.
It should be in the 8s.
Right.
High 8s. Once he gets his shit together.
Yeah. Get some practice and stuff.
It takes a while to get it on the brake.
Yeah.
A bit of boosting. The first couple of times he was leaving with no booster.
Right.
So it goes like 60 foot and then starts making noise.
But that's the one nice thing about this event is you're not racing the guy next to you. Reaction time doesn't matter. Just drive, you know? Yeah.
Who built the Mustang? That was built in America, wasn't it?
Yeah, we built it
Oh, you
in the
built
last
it
2
here.
weeks.
Oh,
Here,
wow.
though. Yeah, here.
Yeah, in Charleston.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's why a lot of people know about it as compared to, if you would have built it in Australia and shipped it over.
Yeah.
Is that the
with
same
social
shop
media
that
out here.
you guys shipped to last year?
Yeah. It's just around the corner from the port where the cars come in.
That's a
We're
great
underwater this
city.
time.
Could have done. We bailed out. We had to bail out and go to North
Yeah, because
Carolina.
the hurricane. They were
Yeah.
there during the hurricane. Yeah. I was supposed to be in Myrtle Beach for Mustang Week. And that got
we
all-
were going to go to the Mustang.
Oh man, that would have been awesome. Oh man, that would
They
have
had
been
it
awesome.
at Mooresville.
They switched it. Like
Yeah.
people left.
We went to that the other
Yeah.
night because we broke the engine and a valve fell off the compressor engine. Ate itself like just idling.
Yeah.
And we put the spare engine in, which is last year's engine.
Yeah.
Still a built engine, but not as good. And then that one, I don't know what happened to it, but it fucked the bearing and glued up a rod. So we towed it to North Carolina and
And your parking is free spectator parking lot. So your spectator. Your lights are on. Virginia license plate UYC 14166 Durango. Your lights are on. And I was at that enough before that happened. Come watch that live you want more of that out here and watch live. Yeah, we can see all the cars. How close the first person is 20 bucks every day, about 8 a.m. to about 1.
Car's insane, man.
Thanks.
Jared, what are you doing?
Lowering the tire pressure.
So what?
19.
18. Look at that base of concentration. He is really going to bring it today, folks. He is going to run his personal best.
I doubt that.
Don't doubt that. You can make it happen.
Yeah, it's a Philip block.
Yes.
88. From on 88.
Her Instagram name is Chicks with Slips. You should follow her.
It should be at least that heck. It weighs,
I'm not very good
when
at
it
this.
169, it weighs 3,100.
No, like social media stuff.
That's not good. You're on social media.
I know. I just don't like all the other social media. It's too much. And all I really care about is Mustangs. Stop ruining my shot, man.
Shots already.
like just hit there and it's like, hey,
Taking us back.
So, hey, those guys thought I was driving that one because of my shirt.
This one.
Yeah, the guys with the awesome car up front.
I'm not sure.
Rick said it to me. He's like,
Oh yeah, I know that guy. He is really fast. He's fast. But there's different levels of fast. He's like 28s. Lowers. That car is so fast.
This year. What a setup.
Right?
AMC Javelin, is that what that is?
And we're in the staging lanes, and it's raining a little bit.
All right, so we have another racer request. We have a racer. 5 on 4 3/4, 15 by 10 wheels. Ronnie says it's going to take approximately 2 hours to drive, 30 minutes to run the racetrack. We have 355 hours, they say 170 meters,
I know the wheels are
Grumpy Jenkins match racing at a racetrack in Canada.
Yeah, we're running 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours.
Drive the track from over there.
But then I find out you're not.
That would later become Steve Castelli's car that was well known on the Good Guys circuit as being one of the fastest street rods of its time in the 80s. But in the movie, they go and they collect his Willys. Yeah. And then they go steal a 426 Hemi out of an AMC cop car.
Oh, that's a baby turbo too.
Two of them.
Oh, 2 of them. Oh, 9.
2.
Whatever.
That's not.
What happened, Jerry?
All right, guys, it is 11:30. Finally, there's sunlight. We're racing. They said 20-30 minutes. Lanes 1 and 2, I think, are going to go first, so that'll probably take half hour maybe or so, and then we should be up. We're 6th in line in lane 3. It's a good spot to be in right now. Yeah, 1 and done. That's it today. Not even going to get a second pass no matter what. So a lot of these guys might be just breaking the beams, or I don't know what they're doing, but it's drying up. What?
Race?
Huh?
They're gonna race.
Yeah, but
broken.
yeah. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, we're gonna get 1 and done and hit the road.
No, we're gonna watch a little bit, then hit the road.
We gotta edit that part out. That's stupid. That doesn't add to the story that we're telling.
All right. So what's the plan for your run? What are you gonna do? Big burnout.
A big burnout and then just put the gas.
Right.
No brake torquing.
Right. Don't do that. We don't need that.
You do that in your car and you spin the wheels.
I spin the wheels no matter what I do. So, all right. Better bring it, buddy.
The infamous Chevelle with the twin turbocharged big block engine, a car that they dragged out of the weeds and ran the first year with what was basically the original 396 in it.
I think they actually tugged that and they had a junkyard 454 in it, but nevertheless, it was a good story to see that thing grow from what it was then to what it is now, which is a car that went 880 on some test passes yesterday. I would be curious what our DA is right now. We were looking at about 3,100 feet by the time we were testing in the afternoon. We'll have a look and see what it is right now. I think it's going to be a little bit better, I hope. Get some good numbers out of these cars. But once again, racers, do not buy Gear Vendors Overdrive.
And I am using the always awesome Air Density Online research tool here to give us our DA and weather conditions here momentarily. All right, so it'll be a Malibu station wagon with the glue-on wood trim on the side. It'll be taking on Steve-O, the Chevelle that, born from Australians, lives here in the States. The air is very wet, but it is still pretty decent. 2,219 feet. Burnout's complete. First pair, Robert Abbott, the 1982 Malibu station wagon, and Harry Haig, the 68 Chevelle. Haig's an entertaining fellow down there in Australia. He's got a farming operation and a trucking operation, and he tried to burn his farm to the ground a couple of years ago. And
I'm sure he could. He probably didn't try.
There was some massive fire, and to hear him tell the story, it was like he was reveling in the fact that his place was on fire and he had to put it out. But it's like, this guy's a lunatic. They built the car like this, and it almost looks like they may have tucked the turbos down a little bit, right?
They did. They made that change last year. It was a little bit more absurd when it was on the cover of Roadkill magazine here a couple years ago.
Literally 4.6 seconds, 127 in the 8. Abbott goes 10.29, and Harry goes 8.68 with a 7, and 157 miles an hour. We're officially off and running here at Drag Week.
Improving Cresta, the Barra-motored engine here, inline 6 with big turbo on it, out of Australia.
So the Barra engine is a Ford engine used widely in a bunch of different models in Australia, and it's kind of like Ford's, I'm not going to say it's in theory or in feeling, it's Ford's 2JZ. It has nothing to do with the 2JZ, no design elements, but it's the style of engine that the Australians have really taken to it and figured out ways to make 4-digit horsepower out of, as Ben Neal is driving the 85 Toyota and Ryan Klemp in his 1994 Mustang.
There's 2 of these Barra engines here at Drag Week. I think this is the quicker one.
Neal is running in the modified Colorado category, so this is a very serious machine that should be able to run in the 8-second zone. We saw these guys pull in the racetrack before. Neal and all the headsets on and talk to each other.
He goes to the 8th mile, 579 at 119 miles an hour out the back end, 909 at 148 to the crest of the left-hand lane. At a big 150
Block will carry the front end of this 4-door machine a long way down the racetrack.
Man, isn't it refreshing to be able to say single turbo small block instead of LS? There is an actual traditional small block in this thing.
It is Carl Copia on the other side of the racetrack. Copia in the 1962 Nova running Pro Street naturally aspirated. Rick's car was the quickest small tire car at Roadkill Nights 2 years ago, or I should say last year. He was also competing this year. Goes 863 at 152. Wow, Rick Starkey hauling out there. 550 for the 8 mile and 128 miles an hour. That thing is no fooling.
What you just saw there is a very good example of a guy trying not to go quicker than his tech legal speed, which is going to be 850 on that car. He was on the brakes at 100 and whatever you said, and
Yeah, he scrubbed some serious mile an hour out that thing, but he is the quickest car of the day so far. Now we go to Kurt Johnson, the 1993 Mustang. Kurt Johnson, left-hand side, 871.7 at 157.89 miles an hour, firing the opening shot for the Super Treaties. Rock the car back and forth, moving around a little bit as we can watch water falling out of the quarter panels and out from around different parts of these machines as they come to the water box. You can see how much fun they're doing out there. With a Mustang that sounds like a Supra, that's the 8 mile at 124 and this was 893.9 at 156.63 miles an hour. He pulls the parachute, which is always a good.
and 9 cubic inches, I believe. 700 plus. And it goes way deep.
25 with an 8 and 169.53 miles an hour without a whiff of nitrous, without a supercharger, a turbo, nothing. As Williams goes 979.9 and 138.34 through the traps. That car, interesting run there for Williams. It was making 111 miles an hour at half tracks. It only picked up 25 numbers on the back. Maybe something going on with that thing on the big end. So a 1994 Jeep Cherokee, David. I'm in love. The XJ, Kyle Paris. It says Tricky on the license plate, or maybe it's Trucky. Hey, it's a Trucky. Are we thinking LS swap? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see every car yesterday in the pits as much as I wanted to. As we go throughout the week, we'll talk to more and more of these guys on the road and have some of their individual stories and more information on their specific combinations. Across from the Jeep will be Jeremy Heiser. Heiser, an East Coast racer, He stick-shifted Pontiac Firebird zone for the better part of his life. 106 at half track, and Heiser goes 10:34.0, 135 miles an hour, and the Jeep goes 13:83 at 104.96, roughly 30 seconds quicker than it would have run stock. That's about true. I mean, actually, the little 4 liters were pretty snappy, but not if you had the 2.8 V6, which was among the worst turds ever. That is a fifth-gen Camaro. See the Nitrous Express sticker on it. You can see kind of a flame pattern. Maybe that's a prediction of the future, Brian. Well, if the flame pours out of the doors like it says there, that guy's got major league problems. And Sam Johnson from London, Ontario, Canada, a 1972 Camaro that is a little bit late year leaving than he would have wanted. Left-hand lane, he goes down 12-12 at 123 miles an hour. Sam Johnson in the right-hand lane in the 72 Camaro, 1087, 132. So finally, cars on the racetrack, please spread the link to the live feed as we are finally up and running here at Drag Week 2019. Thanks for your patience out there. It has been a little bit of a trying morning, but we are after it right now. As Calvin Nelson and Jennifer Martin come up to the starting line. Martin in the 1998 Trans Am, Nelson the 1981 Fairmont. Looks like Martin's door's open. So Martin's car kind of stumbling out of the gate here, and Calvin Nelson. Second reaction time. This is a fresh car that he just put together, very nicely done, Super Sano. I believe it's a 6.0 or a 6.2 liter twin turbo in the Fairmont. 908.1, 151.60, so a very clean lead for Calvin Nelson. 121 and a half track. He is the 6th quickest standing mile with this car. He's run Roadkill Nights. He has run a multitude of events and Drag Week. So once again, please try to knock the water off your cars before you get up here to the starting line. We can pick up the pace significantly if we don't have to mop the track every time a car leaves the starting line. Please. Huffing on his way down. That is not looking good for Danny Allen in that Nova wagon. He still goes 11:31, but he's coasting to 77 miles an hour. The smoke screen left behind as Tyler Dupree rolls through it at 981, 142. Yeah, Dupree's running on it. It's a very tidy installation. It's the 4-door, and they are the Australians. We are the Australians. Yep, that's awesome. It's actually typically a 4-door shoebox has a little bit of an odd look to it, but I kind of dig this one in terms of it's not as obvious. You do realize it's the same roof line, 2-door, 4-door. You can actually take the 4-door and convert it to a 2-door, which is kind of a popular mod these days, but he's going full crew cab, full taxi. And he has opposite him on a racetrack, Randall Reed in the Mustang out of Tioga, Texas. Randall Reed last year. Ross Gold from Australia goes 12.007 at 114, 854.5 at 163. So Randall Reed with an 852 average in 2018 is right on Dodson. There you go, 851. Call it his shot. I like the confidence. An 8:51 would make him the second quickest car of the day so far, as James McIntyre maintains #1 position, but we do have a bunch of the heavy irons sitting in the short chute over here, and they'll be pulled around in a little while. Mark Hill, a 2002 Pontiac Trans Am, will be opposite John Dodson.
And attention Sweden, you're going to want to tell our Twitter to tune in right now. Attention Sweden. Now short time. He's going to go to the 8th mile, 5:49, 132. And he cannot hand in that time slip. He just earned himself a 20-second time slip, virtually guaranteeing that he is not going to be in the top 8 positions of that class that he's been such a dominant member of over the past few years.
He took a swing at it, and he's going to be one of the guys praying that there's any sort of extra time here after we're done running everybody, which, man. So now we see Magnus Frost backing up. The 1974 Opel Ascona. You can see the Swedish flag hanging on the back. You can see the Noonan sticker, meaning Noonan Race Engineering. This is a very, very serious car, David. We've seen the original Ascona, but this one is modified.
This thing has been in the 660s. Now, you'll want to compare this car to the one that's coming up right behind it, which is a stock Ascona. This one has been sectioned, widened, lengthened. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. And let's see, yeah, it should be running in the 660s.
And Dennis, who owns the car, walking back, was basically the lead in the development.
Wow!
230 miles an hour out of the gate. Holy cow, 1:12.60 foot time, and they absolutely let it fly.
What an opener for the car that was shipped here last year and got stuck in customs and could not make it to Drag Week. They opened it up with by far the quickest time that we have seen so far.
And sorry, Doc, you've been moved back to number 2 on the quick sheet of the day. An incredible opening salvo here for the team from Sweden, running in the 640s.
And here comes Ascona number 2. This one, the stock-bodied one, stock proportions with a big block in it. This thing is a multi-time winner of the Stockholm Open street race that they do back there. And they were down about a 774 last night, if I recall correctly. And on the right-hand lane, Lonnie Andazola in the 67 Camaro.
Yeah, Lonnie Andazola on one side and Robin Johannesson on the other side. What are some of the Swedes? They love extra consonants. Like they're hoarding the extra consonants for something in case of a bad day. One N and one S would have been fine. I mean, and Robin goes 776 with a Ford, 175, and you can see the reaction from Dennis. I think he was more animated watching that thing go 770s than he was watching the other car go 640s. Wow. That is legit.
Imagine a world where the fastest street car in America could end up not being from America. Björgen at the very end of the week. Be interesting to see if those Swedes are still with us. That was an awesome performance. Love to see it.
Brian Anders from Bunker Hill, West Virginia, the 1977 Chevette, orange with a black strobe stripe down the side, and Jessica Taylor from West Newton, Pennsylvania, the 1995 Honda Civic, sitting on the right-hand side of the racetrack. But look at the Chevette. I mean, it's got V-lock wheels on it, super clean as well for a nice and put together. Anders at 148 mile. And Anders running 10:24.6 at 129 miles an hour. The car is running in unlimited because that's just kind of where it fits.
Yeah, some of the cars in Unlimited are not necessarily the all-hanging-out Pro Mod cars that you would expect. Some of them just have some modification to them that makes it not fit cleanly into another class, and so they end up going into Unlimited, and little Chevette would be one of them.
And by the way, a guy with a 13-second car has won Unlimited before.
He was also the only guy in Unlimited that year. So.
Pennsylvania, the 2008 Pontiac G8. Jimmy Baptiste and the Chevelle Power Group, 1091-1, 124.78 miles an hour. Baptiste family, big runners up there in New England Dragway, multiple different categories. Great to have them back in the 67 Chevelle. Hey, Dennis, not too bad a way to start your day, brother. A very cool lace-painted hood. The Anti-LS Consortium, we can lead us to believe that this thing has an Oldsmobile engine in it. That and the fact that it'll rev to 5,500 RPM will be the other explanation. And the Mustang 147 at the 8, 771.9, 185 miles an hour. That car is running in Super Street small block power adder.
And the Wolves goes 10-14 with an 8.
Last year's the winning average of Super Street small block power adder was 798, and he just went down there and ran in the 770s. That would be a significant, if he's able to maintain the pace, a significant upgrade in performance for that category. Steve Winningham and Dave Burke. Burke from Welford, South Carolina, the 1979 Pontiac Le Mans. 9.23-second run for Steve Winningham, 148.77, just shy of 150 mile an hour, and a naturally aspirated car is pretty strong stuff. David Burke goes 11.17.8 at 119 miles an hour. Burke is competing in Super Street Small Block NA. So the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT style, or SRT 8 model here, which slicks on all four wheels as it is an all-wheel drive machine, has late model Hemi power in it. And that is Dave Morin in a 2000 Mustang we're looking at on the live feed right now. New Edge style car.
What do you see the hood of that car? It's got a very interesting sort of panel paint treatment on it.
Gonna watch that all-wheel drive.
You know, some big lines feel like
For Dan Morin, 133 the 8th and an 822.9 at 164 miles an hour. The Jeep running a Jeep like 1233 at 91.7 miles an hour. That is a big old heavy rig, and the 7-second reaction time there, he was likely a Beetle that turned into a flaming Volkswagen Beetle.
Flambe.
Super Street Small Block Power Adder is the category for Steve Morin. Tom Sterling in the Fairmont sat for a couple seconds. Dalton still goes 1040 with a 9 at 137 miles an hour. It's about to be done. Major props to the VMP staff for preparing a racetrack that is hanging on to 6-second runs right out of the gate. And major props for Dennis and the boys for coming up here and not pussyfooting around. I mean, they didn't come up here to go safe. They came up here to be
Steve Hunter there on the left-hand lane goes 998 at 156. Christine Wiegel here needs to slam his door.
I really can't see anything.
It's like Tom Daly is strapped in 6 seconds 2.0. Some of the fast cars going to come around the a little bit early.
Mark Banner taking his Chevelle down the racetrack, 98 miles an hour in the 8th. A lot of steel to move down there. Goes 11.18.9 at 121. Ed Schwartz goes 9.37.6 at 143.93.
It's honestly so bright I can't really see anything. I don't, like, I know I'm getting it all on camera, but it's hard.
All right, everybody, once again, you want to share the link. One of our big guns coming down. Brian Goldstone. Block Chevy in it. Twin turbos on it. Now, they're experimenting with this thing on methanol. They have converted the thing from gasoline so that they can dump. He's unlimited now instead of Ultimate Iron because of the methanol. And a lot of guys are doing that these days, dumping the weight and extra complexity of intercoolers and plumbing and such in order to run the thing on methanol, which does not really even require an intercooler because of the chilling factor of the methanol itself.
So Brian Goldstone, we can surmise that his best run ever in this car is somewhere in the high 670s, low 680s. We can say that because in 2016 his average was 685 at 211 over the course of the week. So allowing some variance, let's say that this car runs a very low 680 right now, it's going to put him somewhere near career best numbers, and it also does put him in the conversation for unlimited, in my opinion. Anything that can run in that high 6-second range.
Conversation for the overall win.
Correct. Yes,
They just let that guy cut in line.
And Goldstone's, magic here, more times than not, this car is stone reliable. very reliable. We've seen him pulled over before. We're like, hey man, is everything okay? And he like looks
didn't
over
wait
his
in
shoulder
line.
like a little insulted, like, yeah, I'm just running fast.
Well, I've also seen him change the transmission twice in one day in the pits.
That's a fact too.
That happens. But they're unfazed by it because they're prepared for it.
Steven Felker, the 1985 El Camino on the Adamocker side of the racetrack. The T-Body style. 168, the 8th mile, Goldstone, 693 at 2:15, despite whatever that weird puff was we saw just before the 3:30. I don't know if Mark Walter could roll us a replay of that on the live streaming coverage here.
I don't
We'll
think we want to because we do not want to miss Tom Bailey coming up right now. Tom Bailey in 6 seconds 2.0 with that new 41X water block from Steve Morris that we were just talking about. And here in the left-hand lane, really an interesting story out of Sweden at 16. This thing is in unlimited because it's got such radical engine setback and driver setback. So really, he's not in game to win anything here, except for the glory of running drag week. And he shipped the car all the way from Sweden to do it. So both of these runs are going to be very interesting right now. Tom Bailey in the right-hand lane, and in the left-hand lane, the Swedish Dodge Dart.
Joel Skoglund from Sweden driving the Dart. For traditional NHRA class racers, what this thing would be somewhere around a super stock A modified car with that NASCAR style R5 P7 engine and the stick shifted transmission. But for Tom Bailey, it is a billet block twin turbo 4,500 horsepower capable combination here that Steve Morris has prepared for this car. Right now, 6:43 is the quickest run of the day. 6:43, the quickest run overall, and the quickest run, of course, in the unlimited category. Tom Bailey's designs for this car, which he is still aiming to achieve, are 5-second elapsed times. We have never seen a 5-second run at Hot Rod Magazine Drag Week. Not saying we're going to see one at this moment, but certainly capable of penalty. At the 8th mile at 180 miles an hour, Bailey goes 6:21 with a run at 228 miles per hour. 9:57, 9 at 100. That is a top 5 run of all time. Quickest run ever, 6:10 made by Tom Bailey in 2016. But a 6:21 run certainly
Literally,
puts him
I'm
there.
just watching here so I
Top
can
speed
build.
of 228.50 is another top 3 or top 4 run of all time. Jeff Watts has top speed of history of Drag Week at 243 miles per hour. But Tom Bailey has made his presence felt with the one and only shot he will take today. Wow. And Toronto 7:55.4 at 161 miles an hour. And Stefan Gustafson, the car would not spool, would not fill boost, and it just got to kind of scamper its way out the starting line. He leans on at the big end and goes 10-11 at 191 miles an hour. Holy smoke. 10-11-3 and a buck 91.62. Here comes our twin turbo boss.
What you do? Everyone's got a big block Chevy, right?
Got that M&M transmission shifter in there. He is ready to rock and roll. As you can see his hand moving that thing as he rolls toward the beams.
That thing looks sweet. I love the hunker on that car.
Yeah, that is a lot of tire tucked up under the back of that thing. In the hot rod, running it unlimited. Bill Boulis goes 10:59.4 at 127, and Spieth's car just started making wheel speed. Started to shake the tire, got a little sideways.
He rolls through the lanes up here to get his one pass of the day.
The speed, a pretty good indicator that the thing does make a bunch of horsepower, just was not violent enough off the launch to kind of get the whole load moving.
In the right-hand lane here, we've got Gio Castillo who's got the 2J Inline 6. Now this little Supra has been capable of 690s. He told me yesterday that they've learned their licks on drag week. They've seen how you can get the groin punch if you don't have the and they've got the thing tuned back into range.
Oh man, what fun's that for us?
Yeah. Matt Jones, the left-hand lane, has got the Fire Chicken 76 Firebird. That thing showed up a few years ago as a clap track, I think it was white car. Got the thing painted last year.
Yeah, looks good.
This is at least third year in a row. I think he's another guy who took our commentary and took it to heart and painted it on his door. Not advisable for most people, I might add, but hey.
If the shoe fits in it on, you gotta put it on. So 11:01.3 at 121.75 for Matt Jones, 9:07.8 at 185.74. The brown stuff, probably rust. But I'm not sure. Matt Jones, blowing a bunch of rust out of the exhaust there, likely. And we have the Gotta Have a Green Mustang rolling up here, left-hand side of the racetrack. That is Brent LaSala, and this is Anthony Pecoraro, the CTS V-Wagon. Sporting the Put Up or Shut Up sticker on the window. All right, that is a guaranteed
It appears on the Motor Trend app. Interesting deal. It's head-to-head races of not necessarily similar vehicles. Sometimes it's just stuff that Brian wanted to see get put together. We did the drag race with the pulling sleds. We did
Randy Popes for the Porsche versus the Pro Tour Mustang.
That was really good. Yeah.
Riding with Randy Popes in the passenger seat of that Porsche was a top 5
Nauseating moment.
pants-wrecking moment. Also a top 5 entertainment. Making short work of the racetrack out there. 8:59 with a 4 at 170 miles an hour. The Pecoraro, the Wagzilla Cadillac, goes 1073.3 at 133.46. I was digging on this two-tone Monte Carlo down at the parking lot when we were coming in. Jessica Taylor from West Newton, Pennsylvania, the 1995 Honda Civic. Sitting on the right-hand side of the racetrack, but look at the Chevette. I mean, it's got B-lock wheels on it, super cleanly nicely put together, and it works. And a parachute pack, and a wheel stand off the starting line for Brian Anders. Anders at 104 in the 8th mile. And Anders running 10:24.6 at 129 miles an hour. The car is running at unlimited because that's just kind of where it fits.
Yeah, some of the cars in Unlimited are not necessarily the all hanging out pro mod cars that you would expect. Some of them just have some modification to them that makes it not fit cleanly into another class, and so they end up going into Unlimited, and that little Chevette would be one of them.
And by the way, a guy with a 13-second car has won Unlimited before.
He was also the only guy in Unlimited that year. So.
He's the only guy who survived, right? It's Teaston. The Massachusetts from release the starting line.
So you made the first pass at Drag Week, at BMP. Tell us about it. Back up a little bit.
No, because then you can't hear me over all the other shit.
Tell us about it.
It was good. I heard over the radio the Swedes went 6'4" at 230 miles an hour, which was gnarly. Yeah, and then I was up like 2 passes later. And Matt, you just want me to say you were right about how to launch because you shaved your 10th off. Good job for you.
But you were in the worst lane, just so you know. After you went, everybody started spinning in that lane.
Whatever.
I know you didn't. Like that's just the
I didn't spin that much in reality. I mean, I might have a little, but
your 60 foot was competitive, right?
It was a tenth better on the 60. Still should equate to more up top, but you know, it is what it is. It's a pretty long line of cars waiting to even get close to the staging lanes right now, and we're gonna head out of here. We got a couple checkpoints to get to. It's gonna be about 5-6 hours to Cecil.
It's gonna take us 5 hours to do something that should take like 3, right?
Yes.
That sucks.
There's literally 6 checkpoints that we'll go to on the way, and we'll recap when we get to these checkpoints, I guess. Yeah.
Turn in your time slip.
Turn in my time slip. There's a cat. There's like a little tiny cat in there too, and it's really weird. It's like this big of a cat.
Real one?
Yes, a little baby kitten. See you on the road.
They got fucking radios. Oh my god. Where did you go?
That'll be in the blooper reel.
Where are we at?
All right, guys, we're here at checkpoint 2. We forgot to film at checkpoint 1. His fault. I don't actually know where we're at right now. We're somewhere in Maryland. We're not too far from Cecil, and we're not too far from home either. But we're here at checkpoint 2. This is basically the end of day 2 of drag week. We're gonna go to a guy's house who's invited all the competitors over for a little cookout later. And then Cecil's is tomorrow, our home track. Should be fun. Matt? Anything to add?
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. And if you got a fast car, you better bring it.